So you're a magician and you want to become a full-time wizard. Well, we sat down with Paul Fowler and we asked him how he went from a 9-to-5 job to then jumping and doing what he loved. And what we found out was it wasn't just a jump into the unknown. He had a structured plan, and he even strategically took a day job that would give him the skills to market and grow his own business as a magician. Here's what he had to say.
What was kind of the process of you being able to leave your electrician job to pursuing magic full time?
So when I actually left full-time employment, I was actually working in sales. And the reason I kind of moved into that job was because I'd been doing magic on the side and I wanted to learn how to sell my magic business, get more gigs. So I'd had enough of being an engineer for, 8-9 years or whatever I was doing. And I wanted an office job, which I hated, if I'm being honest. But it did give me some skills that I was able to learn, which I now use even today. But what actually happened was I'd only been there a short time. Actually, and everything had gone really well. I'd actually talked myself with no sales experience other than selling magic into this, called a business development roles here in the UK. And I was lucky to get that job. And I got on very well with the boss. I was kind of taken under his wing and he was teaching me a lot of sales techniques and that sort of thing. And then he said to me one day, we've got a training session up in Birmingham in the UK, which is about a 3-hour drive from where I live. So you have to kind of stay overnight. It's a 2-day training course. And I said, yeah, I can't go. I said, I've got a gig in the evening, which they didn't know that I was a magician, but instantly everything changed, because now they saw this thing that I did as something impacting them. So ever since then, I was treated very differently. And I got the kind of feeling that I might be on the way out because my face wasn't quite fitting within that company anymore. So I spoke to my wife now and said, this is going to happen. So I've got a choice now. I can either go and get another sales job and go through this same 3-month process again. I've been a sales job for longer than 3 months, but typically most sales jobs get 3 to 6 months to prove yourself, or I can actually have a go. I was doing a lot of wedding fairs at the time and I was getting pretty good at them, where I was getting, confirmed bookings on the day. So even just from the deposits, I was getting enough to, pay the mortgage and that type of thing. But I would have run out of money very quick. So I kind of wrote a business plan, a very basic sort of 3-page business plan, and handed in my notice and never looked back. A lot of people said it was a bold move, now I look back, it was. But to me at the time, there was never anything else that could happen. It was something that I knew I had to make work. So I never really had any doubt in my mind it wasn't going to work. Just everybody else did. But I just ignored them and, proved them wrong.
The way you were talking earlier, how you're doing too many weddings, you want to have a break from gigs, so many gigs, that's like, we're in fairyland, I think the three of us are in this fortunate position where we're in the flow state of events, Yeah. It's not a question, but I do remember how tough and just inconceivable it is at the start when you're just like, how do I even do that, So I think one important thing you just said is you started doing wedding fairs, which is essentially a place you go, you usually have to pay money to be there. And it's everyone who has a wedding coming up, go to these places to see different vendors of, flower suppliers, marriage celebrants, venues, entertainment, all those kind of things, photographers. And then that's when you would have a magician there. And so that's almost like a trade show, right? Except for yourself. Like you're having to get people interested that are just walking by, seeing all these vendors and hope that what you show them will actually convince them to hire you for their wedding.
Well, one of the pieces of advice that I give to people that ask me how to get into trade shows is I often say to them, do you do wedding fairs? And the reason being is I always recommend that they do wedding fairs because you have to invest your own money, right? So if you're going to trust a client to invest their money in you, then you need to know that this is going to work for you if you're investing your own money. You can prove that you can do it because you know it's going to work. So therefore, I'm quite comfortable to take a client's investment in me because I know it's going to work for them. But, wedding fairs are huge here in the UK. I'm actually going to do, because I don't really do many weddings anymore, a little spoiler, I'm actually going to be doing a wedding fair masterclass as well, which will be on the shop at some point as well, which will be like a 60-minute thing of what to expect, how to do it, and, how to get work on the day from wedding fairs. So I've got plans for things like that. But wedding fairs are huge here in the UK. Expensive, some of them, really, really expensive. The national ones, particularly here in the UK, very expensive. But if you do them well, I think one of the national ones I did once, I had a 2-day wedding fair over a weekend. And I think I walked away on the Saturday with 14 confirmed weddings, right? So you think you've got 14 deposits that you've taken on the day, plus obviously the work that's coming over the next couple of years as well. So they can be very lucrative if you do them right.
So my fellow magicians, I hope you found that useful. Paul Fowler wrote a business plan, took a sales job beforehand so he could actually learn how to market himself, how to talk to clients, how to book gigs, and look where it's gotten him. Now, Paul has his own courses you can go and learn from from to learn how to become a trade show magician. If you want to watch the full episode, the link is in the description. And of course, if you want to keep up to date with all of the wonderful guests that we have, feel free to subscribe to this pod. Till the next one, see ya.